I, 27 female, have been with my fiance, 27 male, for 6 years. During this time, his friend has called me every name under the sun, including group meat, like meat as in chicken, steak, meat. Hi, hello, how are you? How are you guys doing today? You're good? I'm good too. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming on back to my channel. I am stoked to be here and to be sharing some more Reddit stories for you. And what's been on my mind this week is that March 8th, which is tomorrow from the day that this is posted, is Women's Day.
I just love all the women in my life and I want to celebrate them.
And guess what? I'm a woman. I am a woman. Women's Day is meant to recognize and acknowledge the economic and cultural and social and political impact that women have made around the world. And so I want to talk about some stories that are just women centered. I'm going to go ahead and just get started right into the stories. Let's go ahead and hear these lady tales. So the first story is coming from Am I the Asshole Relationships. It's 2 hours old from when I've pulled it, and it is from Log Unhappy 8743. It is titled, Am I the Asshole for Finally Snapping at My Partner's Friend? I, 27 female, have been with my fiance, 27 male, for 6 years. During this time, his friend has called me every name under the sun, including group meat, like meat as in chicken, steak, meat, a prostitute, ugly, said I'm bad at makeup, plus so much more. To the other girlfriends in the group, he's made fun of their race, culture, etc. Son of a bitch! This is a repeated pattern that has been ongoing since the start of my relationship. Mind you, again, these people have been together for 6 years, this ROP and her fiance. All the guy friends in the group walk on eggshells around this guy. Before a party, my boyfriend even gave me a talk to just stay quiet and not talk back to this asshole.
Excuse me?
However, I finally snapped and lost it. I got in a big fight with him after I mentioned that a psychological concept was named after him. It's just a dumb joke that didn't really mean anything, but then he and his new girlfriend started quizzing me on it in a pretty antagonistic manner. Weird, I know. To which I mentioned, my brother has a degree in this stuff and taught me. He snapped back saying, You're not your brother, be your own person, stop living in his shadow. After that, I just left. I never want to see this guy again. He has repeatedly crossed boundaries and even tried to cause conflict in my relationship by making jokes to the whole friend group that my boyfriend cheats, which is not true. I'm just so sick of this and don't know where to go from here. I don't feel bad for finally standing up for myself, but I hate that I have to see this guy again eventually. He will never change. Yeah, no, it is absolutely bewildering that your boyfriend of 6 years, has been putting up with this guy, calling you all kinds of names, making fun of you, being rude, and not just to you, but to like all the females in this group. Are you kidding me? All of the girlfriends have to deal with this guy calling them all kinds of names and just being like a straight up asshole to them. How this guy manages to have a girlfriend of his own is absolutely mind boggling in and of itself. I mean, not really. Unfortunately, I know lots of guys who are assholes that manage to have girlfriends and wives, which never ceases to amaze me, to be honest with you. But like, it's just nuts. And if I were you, I would not put up with this from my fiance. I think that more than anything, I mean, I would absolutely want to, first of all, tell this guy completely off. Completely off.
You know what? You can both get the hell out of my face!
I think in this kind of scenario where you're introduced to your partner's friends, if one of your partner's friends says or does something that is offensive to you, it's their responsibility to do something to stand up for you. I'm not saying that you also don't have the right to say something to defend yourself, but I think your partner absolutely has the duty of standing up for you as well. They should absolutely call somebody out for calling you out of your name, calling you group meat, a prostitute, ugly. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I know that you're not necessarily asking if you should break up with your boyfriend, but I absolutely think you should break up with your boyfriend. Now, I don't know how many conversations you've had with your boyfriend about how much this really bothers you. I don't think you should. I think this is probably happening right in front of your boyfriend's face, like in front of everyone's faces in this group. So he should be fully aware of what this guy is doing and saying to you. However, I think if you haven't already, you really should sit down with him and tell him just how offensive you find this behavior, how bad it makes you feel, how much you dislike it, how distasteful it is, how fucking rude it is. And you should tell him that if your boyfriend doesn't stick up for you, you're going to leave him. I mean, you do mention that he sat you down and told you to just stay quiet and not talk back. So, with that in mind, I actually just kind of retract what I just said. Don't even waste your time. This guy doesn't respect you. And like by this guy, I mean both of them, your boyfriend's friend and your boyfriend don't really respect you. This boyfriend, if he respected you at all, he wouldn't tell you to just like be quiet and suck it up and let this guy say and do whatever he wants to do to you. So, woman to woman, I'm telling you right now, leave this friend group. This is toxic. This is disgusting. This is so rude, and you deserve so much better than this. Let's go ahead and get into the comments. Top comment: why is your fiance friends with a guy that regularly insults and disrespects his partner? Yeah, like why? Like why is he cool with that? He should not be cool with that. If he likes you even a little bit, he wouldn't be cool with that. So honestly, I feel like your boyfriend straight up hates you if he is okay with someone treating you like that. Are you kidding me? No. OP responds back to that saying, he only has three friends and they're in a group, so he's afraid of cutting him off and losing the other friend, or it being awkward having to hang out one on one with the other guy. Yeah, so what? I'd rather have no friends than have a friend that treats my partner so disrespectfully. And the other friend that's cool with it too, like, I don't, you guys are both dicks, and I don't want to be friends with people who are so disrespectful and so rude. Like, that's it. He should be wanting to make friends with people who are actually decent, kind human beings. So if his priority is keeping friends that are complete assholes, then he should not be your priority. Your priority should be breaking up with this guy. And funnily enough, someone comments here saying, well, that shows you where his priorities are. That would be a glowing red flag for me. Absolutely. It's a huge, massive red flag. Your boyfriend sucks. His friend sucks. This friend group sucks. You and all the other girlfriends should free yourselves of the burden of these assholes and like run off together and find new men who are actually kind and respectful and like you even just a little bit. I mean, don't settle for that. You should find men who like adore you. But please run away with haste from this guy and his terrible, awful, terrible, terrible friends. Next story here is from Bridezilla's, and it is 3 days old. It is from Izab, Izab, Isaiah Zab. It is from Isaiah Zab, and it is titled "No Longer Close with My Best Friend After Seeing Her Behavior Surrounding Her Wedding." Oh man, weddings are very, very, very touchy. So I don't know where this story is going to go fully, but let's see. Let's see how this goes. Met my best friend in college. She's always been a big personality with big energy. She's a little self centered, center of attention, etc. We live in the USA. She got engaged a few years ago, and her behavior surrounding the bachelorette parties and weddings have made me step away from being friends. She asked me to be her maid of honor. Bachelorette party was a weekend in Mexico. Mexico isn't too expensive, but it's still a destination. A few people could not attend, specifically one person who said they didn't want to spend the money, which really upset this bride. So we organized a second single night local bachelorette party back home. They got married at a courthouse back home, and I was her witness, followed by a celebration dinner. Her official wedding was a destination in Europe. At this point, I was dreading the wedding and ultimately told her I wasn't attending because it wasn't financially feasible. I had just started a new job. She didn't talk to me for weeks. She had a third bachelorette party in Europe closer to the wedding.
Come on, bro.
They married last year and it looked beautiful. Long story short, all these events really made me rethink the friendship. Self centered, narcissistic behavior, me, etc. I know it's a huge lifetime event to support friends, but doesn't it have a limit? Like I mentioned at the start of this, weddings can be so touchy. Like, I get it. A lot of girls, women, girls who grow up to be women, they have an idea in their head of what their dream wedding is going to look like, what kind of dress they want, their venue, the flowers, the colors, where the honeymoon's going to be, the bachelorette party where they want to go. And I think, especially with the onset of social media and being able to see and compare yourself to what other people are doing, weddings have, which are already very expensive, have just become so much more extravagant. And not just the wedding in and of itself, all of the events surrounding the wedding has become more and more and more extravagant. Like, watching movies and TV shows from the 70s, 80s, 90s, you see a woman having a bachelorette party and she like gets dressed up and like goes out to a club or a bar with her friends for the night. That was it. You went out to dinner, you went out clubbing, and you called it a day. And it's slowly become bigger and bigger and more, where people are wanting to fly and traipse across the globe for like a week for their bachelorette party. And then on top of that, they have a destination wedding where, they're staying at like the most expensive hotel with the most expensive, flights, and just like it's just money upon money upon money that you're having to spend to be a part of this event for your friend. And it's tough, right? You want to be there for your friend, you want to support them, you're so happy for them, but at the same time, why does your friend getting married have to cost you two, three, four, five, $6,000? Bachelorette parties can just be such a huge expense. Again, especially when it's multiple days, like you have like matching outfits and you have to stay at this hotel and you have to like book tickets if you don't live nearby, you have to book a hotel, you're going to these really nice restaurants probably because the bride is not going to want Chick-fil-A, the bride doesn't want Burger King, she wants to eat at these like really nice restaurants, of course. So now you're going to these really expensive restaurants, you're buying all these drinks, you're buying all this like decor to decorate the bridal suite. You're spending all of this money, and that's again just the bachelorette. Now she has a destination wedding as well. So now you're buying tickets to go to this destination wedding. You're buying like a rehearsal outfit. You're buying the bridesmaid's dress. You're getting your hair and makeup done. You're, staying at this hotel for like days before the wedding and possibly days after the wedding to like help the bride like clean up and like get all her stuff settled. It's just a ton of money, and it just gets super overwhelming. And as much as you want to be there to support and help, it's just, again, really crazy that you end up having to spend thousands of dollars for somebody else getting married. So it's really, really, really rough. Um, and I get it. I get if you don't have the finances to contribute to really be there, you have to at some point put your foot down and say, "Girl, I love you, but I can't drop thousands of dollars on three different bachelorette parties, a courthouse wedding where we go to a dinner afterwards, now an international wedding. Like I cannot celebrate your wedding five different times." Like I love you, but I can't. It's really hard. My piece of advice to you would have been to try to sit her down and explain to her, I understand that this is a huge deal for you. Of course, ideally you only get married once and you really want to celebrate it. But at the same time, you do have to be conscientious of the people in your life and how much they are going to be feasibly able to spend to celebrate like you and this special day. So it's really hard. Weddings can tear friendships apart. And if the bride is just absolutely not having it and she does not want to hear your plea and she wants to have it her way and that's it, then unfortunately, yeah, friendships can be completely dissolved after the bride goes a little cuckoo. OP actually also adds an edit here saying, another detail I failed to mention is that I got married about a year before her. The courthouse wedding with just our parents in attendance. She wasn't there because it was over Christmas and the plane tickets were too expensive. I had no issue. You see? And then there's the irony. You have a courthouse wedding, not some big fancy shindig. You're not flying internationally. You're not going to like a three-star Michelin dinner afterwards. You got married at the courthouse. And she's like, can't go. Plane tickets are too expensive. But then she has three, not one, not two, three bachelorette parties and two separate weddings. And like, she's mad at you because you can't go to Europe for her fifth wedding celebration. Like, that's nuts.
I'm like, hello, can I please get a donation? Ask me for my Cash App.
So I think that unfortunately, you are past the point of being able to try to have a conversation with her. I mean, obviously, all of these things have already happened. It's not like you're in the middle of the situation and there's still maybe some room for like negotiation with her. This stuff has already happened and it's just really skewed your view of the kind of person that she is and what she values and how she treats people in her life around her who are trying to celebrate her and be there for her. She doesn't care. She doesn't care what you can and can't afford. You need to just like figure it out and be there for her several different, celebrations. So it really sucks, but it's really important to surround yourself with people who actually are going to be understanding and compromising. And it sounds like this girl ain't that. Let's read the top comments. So, top comment, I think destination weddings are tough. Brides shouldn't be upset if someone can't swing an international flight, hotel, and PTO for both their bachelorette and wedding, especially if it's in the same year. Yeah. I think if anything, she being the bride should have been a little bit more accommodating with if she truly had her heart set on an international bachelorette and an international wedding, that she should have spread them apart as much as humanly possible. And honestly, if you have this vision of like, my bachelorette has to be international, it has to be at this specific hotel, it has to be like this specific time of year, and same rules apply to my wedding, then I think the bride needs to be able to foot some of the cost of that, honestly. Editing Ashley here. So let me clarify what I said what I meant when I said that brides should be willing to kind of foot the bill a little bit in terms of like Ubers or like helping with hotels or flights or something like that. I guess I mean more so in terms of bachelorette parties specifically. If you're having already a very big, extravagant wedding and your guests are going to be spending a ton of money going to your wedding, and then you're having a big, extravagant bachelorette party as well, I think in terms of the bachelorette party, it might be fair for the bride to say, hey, you guys, like, don't worry about the Airbnb. I bought like the Airbnb. All you guys need to do is like buy your plane tickets and like come over here and we'll do whatever we do together. Or the activities that you do for your bachelorette party should be like less expensive so that if they are going to help with the Airbnb cost, it's kind of offset by the fact that you're doing things that are like less expensive during the bachelorette party in and of itself. Now, I have been to weddings where the wedding party and like the size of the wedding was so small that the bride actually did pay for like all of the rides throughout like the wedding weekend and like the entire meal that like the rehearsal dinner and like the meal of course on the wedding. So literally all people had to do was pay for their flight, like show up, and like everything else was taken care of. That wedding was only like 15 people though. Most people don't have weddings that are only 15 people in total, but I think more so in terms of big, extravagant, crazy expensive bachelorette parties, if you're doing that and also a big, huge wedding, then I think that it's totally fair for brides to try to foot some of the cost of that bachelorette party specifically, because like things are just really getting out of control, guys.
She should be willing to maybe help cover some flights or help cover some hotels or take care of like the Ubers to and from the airport to the hotel, like something, because it's just a lot that you're asking of people and it's just not always feasible. You don't know what's going on in people's lives. Maybe some of your friends are in between jobs. Maybe some of your friends are having like infertility issues and they're doing IVF and they're, trying to have a baby. Maybe they're trying to save for a house. There's tons of different things that your friends' money can be tied into where they can't afford to drop thousands of dollars on your wedding. And if you're not willing to compromise by making it a less expensive experience by just trying to do something cheaper or by trying to foot some of the cost, it just shows to me that you don't really care about your friends, and I don't love that. Another comment, to be honest, I always assumed couples choose destination weddings specifically because it reduces numbers. So I'm always surprised when they go all shocked Pikachu face when people don't or can't spend thousands to attend their party. Next comment. Yes, I know at least two couples who did that. They had specific people they didn't want at their wedding and knew that they wouldn't be able to afford to travel. They were invited, but the couples knew they wouldn't come. Yeah, I mean, having an international wedding is definitely a good way to try to ensure that like certain people won't be able to make it. But at the same time, that's just putting such a burden on literally everybody else. So honestly, I think like suck it up and just don't invite that person. Or again, just try to compromise a little bit and make it a little bit easier for your friends by being able to foot some of the cost of like all these things you're asking of people. I hate to see friendships like crumble, especially if this is a long time friend. And it sounds like this person is. I don't know exactly how long you guys have been friends. You mentioned that you met her in college. I don't know if that was 5 years ago or 15 years ago. But it sucks. It sucks to have a friend that you've had for years and years and you consider this person your best friend. And then when a situation pops up like this, all of a sudden they become super self centered and like nothing else matters but what they want. And I guess this situation didn't fully come out of nowhere for you. You do mention that she's always been a little self centered, but it just like blew up to 1,000 when she got engaged and like, it was wedding time. It really sucks that that's what the situation became, but unfortunately, sometimes again, weddings can really show people's true colors. And I really wish you guys could have had a conversation about it and she could have been willing to compromise, but it sounds like that just wasn't the case here. I'm sorry, girl. I hope you have like tons of other friends who you can rely on and spend time with. Friendship breakups can be super, super tough, and just wishing you the best. Again, sorry it had to come to this conclusion, but truly wishing you the best. Third story here. This is coming from Waiting to Wed, 8 days old, from Disastrous Rub 87. And it is titled Boyfriend Wants to Marry Only If Pregnant. Story goes, I, 32 female, have been with my boyfriend, 37, for 4 years now. I have been clear that if we have children, then we need to be married. The past 3 months, we have been talking and preparing to start trying to conceive in March, but no talk of marriage. So, I put my dreams of a surprise proposal in the bin and confronted him. He said he thinks it's best to marry once I'm pregnant or had a baby, that his mother will accept it easier. Excuse me? I'm so disappointed and offended. I don't need a ring or a wedding or anything, just some papers to be signed so everything is in place before having children. I need advice on what to do. Given his reaction, I now do not want to marry this man at all. I still want a family with him. Why? But feel like I don't want to be legally tied to his surname and family at all. Girl, why do you want to be married to him still? Have you heard the phrase, why buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free? I don't know if you guys are living together or not. I'm assuming that you are, because if you're prepping to conceive and have a kid, I don't think that you would be doing it if you guys are living in two separate households. So, assuming that you guys are living together, you're in his house. I feel relatively certain that you're cooking and cleaning for him, you're having sex with him, you're doing all the things a wife would probably do. Your only like contingency is that you want to be married before having kids, and he's not willing to give you that. You need to be barefoot and pregnant before he decides that he wants to marry you, because his mommy won't accept it if you guys get married before the baby. Are you kidding me? No, not a chance in hell would I get pregnant by some dude who's like, my mommy won't let me get married to you unless you have my baby first. Excuse me? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Top comment here. He's not going to marry you once you're pregnant or the baby is born. I'm willing to bet on it. But are you willing to bet your future? Because that's what you'll be doing. If you have a kid with him, then you have a kid. You can't undo it even if he doesn't marry you. I don't think you should stay with this dude. He's a manipulative, enmeshed with his mommy liar. Next comment. He's hiding behind his mommy, using her as his excuse for not getting married. Is he a man or not? Does his mommy make his decisions or does he? OP needs to call him on it and then dump him, because who can respect the man who uses his mommy as an excuse for not getting married? He should at least own his decision and say he doesn't want to get married. Next comment. I was thinking, what mother actually wants a shotgun wedding? If that's what it takes for mother in law to accept the marriage, she doesn't actually accept the marriage. She just puts up with it because she's getting a grandchild out of the deal. Yeah, no, this guy and his mother are out of control. Like, you have no reason to stay in this relationship with this guy. Again, free yourself. Run away, free yourself. Please do not stay with this man and his controlling mommy who, needs to make all of his decisions for him. Absolutely not. OP actually updates and says, thank you all for opening my eyes. I was shocked by what he vomited out of his mouth, and I feel embarrassed to have said I still want to have a family with him. I'm reading all your comments. They give me strength. Good. I hope that the next update is that you've broken up and moved out, and now you're like living a fabulous life somewhere else without this guy and his mommy, because that is absolutely ridiculous.
I'm not gonna marry you until you're pregnant because my mommy won't let me.
Are you fucking kidding me? What a fucking loser. And my last story here is actually coming from a man's perspective. However, it is surrounding the two most important women in his life. So let's read here. This story is coming from the subreddit Am I Overreacting? It's a month old and it's coming from user Love Like Jesus Christ. It is titled Am I Overreacting? So my mom got my wife a birthday gift. I'm going to go ahead and insert the birthday gift here. So, for those of you who are not actually watching, if you're just listening, I'll describe the hat for you. So, it looks like a pink hat, and the front of the hat has been painted. There's like some flowers, some like tropical looking flowers, and the word beachy in black and white is like painted over the flowers. So when I look at this, my mind immediately sees the kind of pun here that beachy also kind of sounds like bitchy. So let's go ahead and just read what the story actually says here. My mom doesn't like my wife. She has told her to leave me before. My wife's birthday is late January. My wife also just delivered our firstborn child. My mom bought her this hat and a wine glass, which was broken in the bottom of the gift bag. My mom claims she thought this hat would be a good idea because y'all like the beach and riding in your Jeep. Again, it's January, and for context, we rarely go to the beach. When I said, why would she need a wine glass? She just gave birth. My mom replied, well, she could drink tea out of it. This is also not the first time. Earlier on in my wife's pregnancy, my wife told my mom the smell of alcohol makes her feel sick. My mom then tried to give me alcohol and encouraged me to drink it. This is the first time and only time they've ever encouraged me to have alcohol. They are very strict no alcohol family. My wife told her she couldn't eat deli meats during pregnancy. My mom then buys a giant charcuterie board for our anniversary. My wife was still pregnant at the time. What are y'all's thoughts? Is this truly an innocent gift like my mom pretends? She got extremely defensive when I told her these gifts piss me off. I just can't shake the optics of someone asking my wife where she found her hat and her responding, oh, my mother in law got it for me. This just seems to be a pattern, and since my mom is pretending like I'm the bad guy, I'm coming to this group to see, am I overreacting? This has 33,000 upvotes, okay? I think everybody can kind of see where this is going. Your mom is absolutely being petty. Your mom doesn't like your wife. You're clearly aware of this. And kudos to your wife for putting up with this for so long. I am so curious as to if your wife has ever tried to say anything directly to your mom about this. I'm curious to know what kinds of conversations you and your wife had in private about this situation. Is your wife like silently suffering and you're just like, damn, my mom hates my wife, but like, what am I going to do about it? Or like, do you guys like sit and talk about the fact that your mom hates your wife so much? Like, I'm very curious about the conversations that you and your wife have had about this, if you've even had any conversations about it. But that being said, I think it's absolutely time for you to truly stand up for your wife, appreciate what your wife has done for you. She's married to you, she just gave birth to your child. You need to put your foot down with your mom and you need to say, like, this is out of control, this is out of hand, this is out of pocket. This woman is my wife. I've chosen to marry her. I've chosen to have a life with her. She is the mother of my children. She is the mother of your grandbaby, and you're going to treat her with respect. You need to sit her down and come with the receipts and tell her, you got her this hat, You got her this wine glass. You got her a charcuterie board when she told you she can't eat meat. You're like trying to shove alcohol down my throat when she's telling you like the smell of alcohol makes her sick. You're doing these petty things, and it's not a mistake. I know that you're doing it on purpose. You told me you don't like her. You told me to leave her. So I know that you're doing this on purpose, but it's not going to work. I'm going to choose my wife and my baby over you if you continue to act like this. I'm sitting you down right now out of courtesy and respect for the fact that you're my mother, but I'm telling you right now, I have clocked every single time that you've done disrespectful things to my wife, and this is your final warning. If you don't stop, I'm going to limit the times that I see you exclusively to holidays. And if you still continue after that, I will cut contact completely. And I know that's hard to do. I don't take like cutting off family members lightly. Ideally, your family is supposed to be your support system. You're supposed to love each other, care for each other, be there for each other. And of all things, like your mom is really supposed to be like your number one. Me and my mom are very, very, very close, and I would be devastated if some crazy thing happened and I felt like I had to cut her off. It would really take a lot for me to feel like I had to cut my mother off. But it's unacceptable for your wife to be treated in this manner. The right thing to do here, again, is to stand up to your mom and say, treat my wife with respect, or I will be cutting off contact. Let's go ahead and read some of these top comments. So, first comment says, have your wife get her a matching hat that says Queen Beach. Another comment, I love the idea of leaning into it. Get her a Grandma Beach hat, shirt, hoodie, mug, planter, etc. Never let it end. Some other puns are beachy grandma. My grandma is such a beach. You could even like put it on a onesie on the baby. But the last comment here is, this is the way. Be petty as fuck or go completely no contact and keep your little family away from that mess. I've been almost completely no contact with my mother for almost half my life, and I truly believe it's been for the best. So again, it takes a lot to completely cut off family members, specifically like your parents or your siblings. I know that it's hard, and I'm not trying to say that it's just super easy to do that. So that's why I think it's really important that you have a dead serious conversation with your mom, that at the end of the day, you've chosen to have a life with your wife. Your mom is not going to be around forever. At some point, your mom is going to pass. And when that time comes, like, you and your wife and your kid are going to be, that's your family. I mean, that's your family right now, but especially when the rest of your family, your parents pass or whatever the case is, you move away from your hometown where your parents are from, you and your wife and your child, that's your family. Your mom really needs to respect that decision that you've made. She can't keep trying to do these mean little bitchy petty things to your wife. So you really need to sit her down and explain to her the seriousness of the situation and that you are prepared to cut her off if it does not stop. So stick up for your wife. It's Women's Day. Stick up for your wife. So yeah, those are the stories that I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. If you're a woman, pamper yourself today. Maybe take yourself out to the spa, get a massage, get your nails done. If you're more outdoorsy, maybe take yourself out for a nice walk, a nice picnic. And, if you're not a female, if you don't identify as a woman, be kind to the women in your life today. Maybe buy them some flowers or some chocolates, or just send them a text message and say, I love you and appreciate you, because women are great, if I do say so myself. Have a great rest of your day, guys. It's been real. Love you. Love seeing you. Can't wait to see you next week. Bye. Bye.